You are now listening to the Warp World Podcast. Boom shakalaka.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 143 of the Warp World Podcast, your premier podcast for gaming, Twitch, Mario Talk, and other shit. I almost read it verbatim for you, Xwater.
Even other shit. Yo, that was the best one you've done yet, honestly.
I'm GrandPooBear. With me this week, every week, of course, Xwater.
Yeah.
And Jaku. Oh, sorry.
Hey, no worries.
I know. I just want. Instead of other shit, I should just say Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing.
And
shit,
Animal Crossing.
Since this is our week. This is week 4 of us doing the podcast from Animal Crossing, which I think we're going to continue to do, at least while we're on some sort of quarantine lockdown situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of where we're at on it. So it's been really, really fun. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the Patreons out there. The Patreons. It's been incredible. The support's been incredible. We know a lot of you are from the Turnip Exchange. We're obviously a big fan of the Turnip Exchange here. So thank you. We really, really appreciate it. What's been going on? Jaku, how's your week been? Did you get a little bit more sleep this week?
I did get a little bit more sleep, and before I get into that, I do want to give shout outs to Up North Geek, who just changed their pledge live on the podcast, so thank you.
Hot dog, thank you.
But yeah, very nice. No, I got a little bit more sleep. Things are calming down in terms of servers. We figured out a lot of kinks in the system and resolved them, and we're getting more users than ever, so things are holding up. There's still a few things that we're tweaking here and there, but overall, so much more stable and reliable, and allows me to sleep. It's been nice.
That does sound nice. I noticed you've made taken some of your extra time to kind of refit our podcast room here with some fancy new stuff.
Looks great.
Yeah. Shout out to TheDragonFeeney, actually. She gave us a new mixer. So we have 2 mixers now, and that effects cabinet came from her. We got a nice new table for our computer and Switch. I just had that, I guess. I don't know where I got that.
That's a great table.
It is a good
I really
table.
like it.
You know what? A good table's hard to come by.
Dude, tables are the most rare thing in this fucking game for some reason. Yeah. They're like, here's 17 lava lamps, collection of interesting coins. We got you your grandfather's military helmet, but you can't have any fucking place to put them on.
Yeah, and then we got the new leather couch. We went away from the red sofa.
Yeah, the brown's classy.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah, I'm familiar with that couch.
Yes, yeah, that one was used. That was it was a used couch.
Got it from another island.
Yeah, they just said, you know what? No, we got plenty. We're just getting rid of it. We got to get rid of it after we shoot. I don't know what that means.
After a shoot or after a shoot?
I see free couch. I don't ask questions.
That's fair. Yeah. I actually was offered a free couch in real life, and I'm probably going to take it. Not yet, but it's from a close friend. So, I mean, even if it was used for a shoot, it was a shoot for a close friend. So, I don't have as much of a problem with that. I'll just, rub it down with some Lysol.
All right. Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, you should probably Lysol it right now anyway.
Yeah. In general at these current times. But yeah, I don't know if I told you guys, but I will be in the near future moving into my own place.
You did tell us,
yeah.
The Animal Crossing got you that itch.
Yeah, my home building in Animal Crossing has made me... No, it was something I'd been wanting to do for a while, and it was going to happen at the end of this month, but now I might push it back a little bit because I don't want to live alone in the middle of this Rona.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, having roommates during this is pretty nice.
Clutch.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, I mean, you have a built-in social circle.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird.
Have a hot tub and a home gym, and I don't want to give that up.
Yeah. Good point. I mean, it's kind of hard. If you could have a social circle as long as you just all agree to just you can only see each other and you can't see anyone else.
Like a quarantine circle.
Or go anywhere else. Yeah, or go anywhere else or go out and get any supplies or literally do anything else. You know what I mean?
And if you do, you're out for 14 days.
You're out. Yeah.
Me and my buddies wanted to do that at first, but we were like, you know what? Let's just not chance it.
No, every 14 days you got to kick someone out every 14 days so they can go get supplies. You know what I mean? It's like fucking Survivor. You know, like
yeah. I was talking on my stream yesterday because we were talking about movies and how you can get them online right now instead of theaters. I'm like, oh yeah, you invite some friends over, and wait, no, you don't do that.
Not that part.
You can't invite them over.
Yeah, no,
it's interesting. It continues.
It is interesting. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time playing this game this week. I finished off some sweet renos on my island. I'm excited to have Deal or No Deal going on tomorrow night. Well, I guess Friday night for those of you listening on Monday. But yeah.
Pooh, you've had a birthday in this situation.
Yes.
How was that different from previous years?
Well, I mean, we didn't go out. You know, which like me and my wife are big fans of the performing arts, so we like to go out on our birthdays.
I'm familiar with your tradition. Did you hire one in?
No, you can't. Well, no, that would also be bad.
Put the baby in the other room.
Definitely not.
You don't need to see this.
No, so my wife actually, and I know you both know this because you guys were actually both a part of it. My wife went first of all, I wanted to just say it was like the best birthday ever. My mods made me this clip show, a clip video of a bunch of different things, and then gave me a escape room, a mini escape room puzzle that led to a website which pops up a completely random name origin story I've told at some point. And actually, one time I popped it up, Xwater, and it was a name origin story you told at MMC, which I thought was pretty funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, one for me or one for you?
No, one for me. You told a story for me, which was really funny. So it's got I don't know, 80 or 90 different clips of name origin stories, and they're just adding to it every time I say one. So that was a really, really sweet thing. I was super pumped about that, and then I was already feeling the love, and then I go downstairs, and my wife had set up a 90s theme, party as much as we could with shit we had around the house. And, we played 90s videos on the TV and jammed out. And then she also, in her office, set up a quote unquote tequila bar. She was like, yo, I want to check out this whole, so in the middle, we're drinking, we're having one drink. And she's like, hey, can we go check out this hole in the wall? I just walked past on the way here.
God.
Yeah, it looks like this real cute little bar, and we go in there, and we straight up role played the whole thing. You know what I mean? It was it was really fun and really cute. It was awesome. She had tequila bar on the computer in there, and she played one Bad Bunny song. It wasn't she thought she put on a playlist, but it was just one Bad Bunny song played. And then we were like, oh, well, they're out of tequila. So we took a couple shots, and then, they're out of tequila, and it looks like this place is shutting down right now. So we better get out of here. It was just really fun. And then she made this video for me with a bunch of my friends and family wishing me happy birthday. But it was 2 or 3 people in, I realized everyone was dressed up in their 90s gear. One of my favorite ones, by the way, was Jaku, who came from the future. He wasn't talking to me from the 90s. He warped from the future to explain all these things we were going to do together, which was really funny. I loved that. It was really awesome. But then the whole kicker of it was, my favorite snowboarder in the world, my hero, is this guy named Travis Rice. He's a Red Bull athlete. I've never talked to him or interacted with him, but the second to last clip on there, this guy takes off his 90s glasses, and I'm like, holy shit, this is Travis fucking Rice. And he wishes me happy birthday, and played in the whole thing and was dressed up, and I was just it was this weird moment where I kind of lost it because I'm super, it's super wild what we're going through right now, and it's been stressful. And then B, it was this was I don't know. It was just wild because, and John Jackson was in it too. And they're my 2 favorite humans, snowboarders in the world, athletes, period. And I don't know, it's just a cool moment for me. So I kind of I just lost it. And then me and my friends had from back in Tahoe, me and my wife and a couple of our old girlfriends and like my buddy Chris, and like we all kind of just got together and talked on Zoom. Which I warned them all. I was like, guys, we should probably use like Google Hangouts or something slightly safer. But nobody listened. And yeah, it was fun. We talked for like 2 hours. We all had drinks, and it was honestly, it was like a really, really, really good birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was kind of cool. It was just cool to do something different for a day. You know?
Well, speaking of something different.
Yes.
I think we can do something different right now.
Oh, really? Wait. I am... What do you mean?
Well, I think I gotta change my clothes for this one.
Yeah, I might also need a quick little outfit change right here.
You guys both know what we're doing different? I don't even know, so I'm pretty excited about this. Wait, I will also change then. What?
How dare you think you can wear that crown?
All right. We're gonna, sir, we're gonna need you to take a seat. We're gonna need you to take a seat.
Oh
right
my
now.
God!
Now,
what
for
is
the listeners
happening
at
right
home,
now?
we have dressed in our Chris Hansen outfits, and we have invited a special guest, TaterHolic, former teammate of Pooh's from Animal Crossing Survivor, to come on in and give us the full expose. Welcome to the show, Tater.
Thank you. I'm happy
I'm getting
to be here.
ambushed on my own show here.
No, we just wanted you to take a seat, sir. Just take a seat. We're going to talk this whole thing out like a couple of grown adults hanging around in a digital living room.
Yeah, we got chat logs here.
She looks mad, dude.
We're
mad.
making sure none of the other competitors are in this chat right now listening, right? Like,
if there are any,
I have a feeling at this point they all already know.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
I would like you to take your crown off, sir. It is taunting me.
It's part of an outfit. He can't.
Yeah, it's part of an. Well, hold on.
Yeah, the acid wash jacket. I do like that jacket.
I'll put on this one. Oh my God! Sorry, that's a bigger crown.
Oh wow! Oh, how
you
embarrassing!
Smug. It's
our
man.
bigger crown.
So we talked about it a little bit during the Patreon banter, but why don't we get a quick rundown, maybe a TLDR. Jaku, maybe you could run us through exactly why we have a guest host here tonight.
So we have Tater on today because of what happened on the Animal Crossing Survivor last week on the DragonFeeney's channel. As you know, myself, GrandPooBear, and TaterHolic were all on the red team originally, along with DGR. I got moved over to the blue team after Xwater was voted off, and so I've taken his spot. So this is now between two reds that had an alliance, but one of them didn't follow through.
Gasp! Which one? Which one was the one?
I wonder.
I mean, to be fair, we had a full red alliance. Full red alliance, just not lose.
No.
Wait. Whoa. So what had happened? What happened is I got spooked, and I, along with DGR, voted Tater out.
Wait, did you guys have back-end conversation about me?
Define back-end conversation about
Did you guys have a DM going saying Nick Tater?
No. Okay, no, this is what's funny about this is you can't DM, like, for some reason he has his DMs turned off. So I literally can't DM DGR. Which is funny. And also we need to make just a general rule with no DMs allowed if we do Survivor in the future in general,
that is a good general rule because
I'm taking on board with that rule.
What we need to do, okay, so these are the two things. We needed to have no one allowed, and also mandatory like 2.5 minute like confessionals. Like, so you can't sneak back in confessional. You have to be out of chat for 2.5 minutes. So it gives people the time to scheme and backdoor.
Yeah,
and all
but
that other
they have to scheme and backdoor together and publicly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They scheme and backdoor publicly together. Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, that's true.
You know, like we got it. That's the one thing we need to add. But no, that's neither here nor there.
I still have my angry face on.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
So yeah, and needless to say, it was a shock, I guess. And the people were shocked. My wife was shocked. Tater was certainly shocked.
Your wife and I have had some words.
Yeah, Tater was certainly shocked. That's the worst part, is like Tater was in my birthday video the very next day after I voted her off.
Do you want to hear the funny thing? This
Please.
is the funny thing, and I'm so happy that I get to tell you this on public record, is that when I have a separate clip in my OBS recording folder of where I'm just like, I can't say too many nice things about you because I'm filming this before Survivor, and I don't want, to say too many nice things in case you betray me. And then I refilmed it because I'm like, well, then on Saturday he's gonna be like, wow, well, who do you think I am? Why would I ever betray you? Because I thought there was no way that you would betray me.
I wasn't okay.
I was so mad that I didn't send her that clip.
I was okay. So 100% cards on the table. Like, the reason I got completely spooked when you were angry at me for two consecutive competitions. And
I
then
was only mad at you for one.
I know. Well, it seemed like it carried over. And I got super spooked. I just got super spooked. That's all it was. I got super spooked. And then my chat was all like, dude, she's definitely voting you out, like 100%. And like, people started getting in my ear. And then like, DGR wanted to cut a deal. And it happened so fast.
Wait, DGR wanted to cut a deal?
It happened so fast.
Was this while I was in a confessional?
It just all happened so fast, Tater.
No,
that's
listen.
poo for yes.
Oh gosh. See, here's my thing, is that I don't know DGR that well. I don't think he had any idea who I was coming into this, but you, on the other hand,
we do.
You were
we know
like
each other.
My anchor. You were
we know
my
each
rock.
other. We know each other outside of Survivor. Yeah. I mean, outside of Animal Crossing. Like, I'm not wearing a bear suit right now.
I mean, none of us know that. It's almost First and Friday.
Yeah.
No. I had a lot of people come in my chat today that was like, oh, they wanted fire, but I spent a lot of time this past weekend talking to my real friends and people who care about me. And I learned that there are still outlets of hope beyond this game. It definitely was the highlight of all of my weeks, and you threw that right out the window, but it's fine. I'll just
I think here was the problem. Here was the thing, is that when it came down to it, there was doubt. You put so much doubt in my mind when you were angry with me. You know what I mean? Because I legitimately accidentally brought Fiend over to you.
Right, it's fine.
And then you got so angry at me, and it was a simple mistake that it just spooked me. It just spooked me. That's all. Just spooked me. I was spooked.
It sounds like there was a convincing spook for Pooh over here. And I gotta say, when your life is on the line, sometimes you make a desperate move. I
am curious though. So if we would have stuck with, if I would have voted for Pooh would have voted for me, and then there's a way to make it a three-way circle. I don't know how
if there would have been a three-way tie, it would have went to the blue team.
Well, then why wouldn't you have wanted that?
Well, because then the blue team could have voted me out too.
But
you know what I mean?
But that, like, I had an alliance with both Tater and Pooh. Like, I was the spot.
Well, we didn't know. So, like, in real Survivor, you draw rocks if you have a tie like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what it was going to do. Like, I thought it would. That's what Fiend would do. Although it makes sense to go to the blue team in that situation. But I thought she would just like spin a wheel, or there'd be something random or something, it's not like we're making fire like, they do in the finals in Survivor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Survivor, and so, like, I don't want to tie. Like, that's one of the, like, the big rules of Survivor is, like, if you tie, you're in nerve-wracking position. Yeah, no, I trust me, like, it's happened, so I can't regret it, but I definitely felt really bad about it. I do. I feel really bad about
it. Warp World Podcast. Pooh said,
when I saw,
you can't regret things that have already happened.
Yeah, when I saw
no regrets.
no regrets. I mean, I can't. What I mean is, like, I have to move forward in the game. Like, I have no choice. Like, I have to move forward in the game, and it hurt me to do it. Like, I've never even met DGR IRL. I've met you IRL, but like, if everything I was doing was based on that, like, I couldn't vote out any of the remaining people at all. So, I don't know. I'm nervous. I wish we just won as the red team, because I would much rather go into a hypothetical merge with red team having more people. Well, I mean, I tried to win, but Space Cat cheated.
Well, it sounds like there's there's a lot of tension here, and I know it was a rough week of Survivor, but
it's like an episode of Jerry Springer right now. This is like fucking Maury. Like,
I think Jaku and I can both agree that I think what we need to do now is to have you two both agree that what's in the past is in the past, and move forward and grow from this experience, grow stronger. And I think Jaku's right. Hug it out.
I hope, you know what? I hope maybe you'll get to, like, maybe there'll be a Survivor season 2. Who knows? Who knows what the ratings will be on season 1?
Well, I will say that like I said, I've had time to cool off, and I want to take this opportunity to announce that the person who I am backing and who I am rooting for from here on out is Jaku.
Oh my God!
I am wishing nothing but those bells to be returned to his pocket. He needs the prize the least, and I want him to win it.
Oh my God! I mean, now this is weird. Now this is weird, because what if you're a jury member? What if you two are both voting?
Dude, if I get to be a jury member,
because that's how it went.
Carry that through.
That's how it happens.
I like to not make enemies in life, and somehow that seems to work out well.
You know what, Jaku, you're still not getting my vote after your bullshit rules lawyering that first week.
There you go. Enemy made. Look like enemy made. So.
Look, if I am in a position of jury, I will be unbiased. As I said in my stream on Friday night, if you lose, I want to see you lose fair, and I want it to be right, and I want to be there to watch it. I want to be the one to blow your torch out.
But I want it to be terrible.
Wait, are you going to be on the island tomorrow then?
Not tomorrow, no. I think Fiend has something planned in the future, but I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea what it is. I'll be in Jaku's chat. Or I'll be in your chat.
I'll be watching from Twitch.tv/Jaku.
Oh my God. It's just so hard. It's just such a hard game.
I know. Moral high grounds are so difficult to grasp sometimes.
You know what? Tell me which person with the moral high ground is one survivor in real life, and I will concede I was wrong. Give me one winner.
Listen, if it was you versus me and Dave wasn't in the equation, yeah, I would rip your heart out. But we were still in terms to be able to keep our alliance, which I totally
hurts. I totally agree, but there was the chance that you had an alliance with Dave, and I didn't know about that.
You can't message him.
What's up?
That's right. There was no chance. You can't DM him.
Well, no, but yeah, there's like, you could just talk on the island. You could just talk. That lets us know you tried to message him at least, because I definitely tried to message him. So,
No, I did not try to message him, but I do recall shortly after Friday night, I was yelling at you over Discord again. And I had asked if you had an alliance, and you told me that you couldn't message him. And that's when I was like, oh, so what were you, what's your long con? I just feel like I was just a pawn in your long con, and it just hurts. I think that's what it comes down to. It just hurts.
You weren't just a pawn in my long con. I tell you right now, it was going into the last 10 minutes of last week. I was 100% in on the three-way, and it just I got spooked. I genuinely got spooked. So.
Okay, I'll take it out on your chat later. I still have a sword.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, no, that's not fine. But I mean, that's just, I don't know. Like, all it made me realize is like, real Survivor is hard. Real Survivor would be hard if you have to make some sort of actual choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Jaku, what do you think about it? You were there.
I mean, I don't know what was said in your chat, obviously, and how things went down after the losses on your side, on your team.
Yeah, Jaku was only there for 1 week.
I need to get a clip of like her pissed at me. I need to get that clip. If you guys saw that clip, you'd be like if like in the edited version of this, like it's gonna be like they're gonna play that clip and then it's gonna flash to me being like getting scared and getting nervous. And that's where things are gonna go downhill. You know what I mean? Like up until that point, it's like I'm like ride or die, and I'm like, yes,
yeah, it's tough. Survivor, man, you got to look out for yourself. But alliances, they do get broken, and it sucks when they do. And
I got quite a few DMs on Twitter that night defending you. They're like, I think my favorite, was most of the DMs were defending you.
You gotta be joking me.
And then my favorite
Turn your
was
DMs
the reply.
off, dude.
There was a reply on one of the tweets that was like, I hope that they can remend the friendship.
Oh my God.
I was reading them all and I'm just like laughing to myself. It's like, oh God.
I don't know if
you know what? I will shake your hand and move past this if you promise to buy me a drink once all this is passed and we're at an event together.
Dude,
I'll easily bought.
I'll buy you a whole night's of drinks, Yes.
Wow, cool.
Yes. Yo, if you know what? If I got bells to spare, baby, if I win this, I'll buy you a whole night's of drinks. But it's still a long road, there's still at least a few weeks left. Yeah. I'm worried now, like we're in the Red Squad's in the minority regardless, you know what I mean? So we don't have the majority of votes, so
and if
who
you
knows
have a
where that's
fishing
gonna
challenge,
go?
you're screwed.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that was the other, okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was also the other thing, is like, you did win another fishing challenge with another red snapper, and I thought about it, like, I also thought, like, man, there's definitely gonna be fishing getting towards the end, like, do I want to go against Tater in a fishing competition right now? Like, she knows the spot here on this, so I would not be lying, right? I would be lying if I. Yeah, but that's not the role play. It's our. The role play. Am I wrong, Jaku? You got to role play with it.
You got to role play.
Yeah,
50 culture exists everywhere.
I mean, it is true that if someone is doing really, really well on competitive shows, they are often kicked off first, and that is.
Hey, it's why we always vote Jaku out of Werewolf quickly.
It is.
I know. I never get to play.
All right. Well, I think we've had a good little session here, and I like to see you two come to a level of friendship and understanding where, we can remember it, but not hold grudges about it.
I think we're still homies. I think the problem is going to be trust in future games.
Yeah, I kind of screwed you on that one.
Yeah.
Oops. I'm very curious to see how that one unfolds.
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. So. All right, let's talk about some news, guys. Yeah, let's definitely move on.
All right.
Resident Evil 4 Remake in the works.
Let's give
I can hop over to the couch.
Round of applause to Tater for taking the time.
Yeah, you can stay and hang out. You're allowed to hang out. We really appreciate you coming on here.
Would you like to stay for the full program?
I will contribute where I can. However, I don't know a whole much about Resident Evil 4 Remake, but I shall sit here and enjoy your company.
Well, Pooh sure does. Pooh, let us in on the details.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is in the works to the surprise of absolutely no one at all. Should they? I mean, I don't really know what to talk about this except like, should they have made Code Veronica first?
I think so.
Jaku. Yes, right?
Yeah. Like, of all the Resident Evil games, like 4 has been put on like every single system in the world.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I bet you there's a copy on the NES.
Maybe.
Doesn't. I don't even think it really needs a remake. Like, I think it works fine as is. Like, I was glad that all the games were like reaching to that point where they were all very similar now in like graphics and stuff. And yes, it's aged. It's a 20-year-old game, but the Resident Evil 1 remake, they just updated the graphics on that and called it a day. And that came out before Resident Evil 4. So I don't get why 4's getting it before Code Veronica, because that is clearly the worst one in the series that needs it the most.
Yes. I completely agree with you. And Code Veronica like is weird because it is a main, like, it's a main series game, but they didn't give it a number for some reason.
Yep.
I never understood that. Why? Tell me.
So Sony had a deal with Capcom to release titled or numbered games in the series on the PlayStation.
What?
Oh,
yeah. So the deal was like Capcom would release 1, 2, and 3, and originally Code Veronica was going to be 3, but then they're like, oh wait, we can't. We have to do Nemesis is 3. So that's why Nemesis has a subtitle as well. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, as opposed to Resident Evil 3, because Resident Evil 2 doesn't have a subtitle. So
yeah,
so they did this whole thing, and then they're like, okay, Capcom or Sega, you get Code Veronica, and then there was Code Veronica X on the PlayStation 2 when that came out.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, Xwater, you ever played Code Veronica?
No, I've played a minimal amount of Resident Evils. I played mostly through 4. I like 4 a lot.
4 is good.
4 is good. I you know what's funny is like I enjoyed my playthrough of 4. It's like now I just have like this weird feeling towards 4 because 4 is like the downfall of the series for me in a lot of ways. Like I really like the tank controls and the static rooms and things like that. But like the 2 and 3 remake, that's the best of both worlds in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like it hits all that tension of the old one and the lack of ammo, things like that. Like 4, you just like, it just becomes an action game at some point. And I feel like the lack of ammo is like really key to Resident Evil. But I understand that games evolve to the point like Resident Evil like gets to a point if you go a little trigger happy, like you might just not be able to beat it. Which is kind of interesting.
Well, Resident Evil 4 made it so that there was a shop though, so it kind of fixed that. Do you think?
But when you say fix that, in my opinion, it ruins that. You know what I mean? It ruins that tension.
Sorry, I don't mean fix it as like, but yes.
No. It changes it. It changes it, and it makes such a drastic change that it's the beginning of the downfall of the series for me personally. Now, with that being said, like it's a really, 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 really fun game. Resident Evil 4 is a fucking fun game, and I don't think anyone can doubt that. I wish Resident Evil Code Veronica was titled 4 and Resident Evil 4 was Code Veronica, you know what I mean? And because it's more of a spin-off to me.
It feels like it, for sure.
Yeah. But I really wish Code Veronica, because Code Veronica is a good game, and I do think because it was on the Dreamcast, a lot of people sleep on Code Veronica, you know?
Yeah, no, it didn't look all that great. Like, it was on the next-gen hardware, but like, it just, something about it was off, about the models and everything in Veronica. And like, I think they went too detailed too detailed for what they could do, and so it came off as a weird looking CGI video game. It was weird because the models looked more CG like in the movies, but played very rough. Would you?
It definitely, the background. One thing that was really funny about Code Veronica to me is the backgrounds were super bland, but anything you needed was super high res.
Yeah.
Like, so you always knew, you walk in a room and be like, oh, I need that, and that. You know?
And like the old Resident Evils had the little sparkle, but that was needed. Would you like a Resident Evil 4 remake to be more like Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake with the static like camera angles?
100%. I would love if they like Resident Evil 2 and 3 needed better controls, you know what I mean, to kind of hold up. I think Resident Evil 4 needs a big boost of tension and Resident Evil, like tension and darkness and fear, you know, which I think that they might just do that. And I really don't hate what Capcom is doing with the Resident Evil, like just remaking these good games, but like completely changing them. You know what I mean? They're completely changed. So.
Yeah, they're fixing the story so that they all make sense now. They alluded to Resident Evil 4 in the remake of 3, and how the parasites exist and stuff, which was not something that was done in 3 or Veronica, I believe. 4 was just like a whole new, hey, it's parasites now instead of biological, and we're like, whoa, that's a twist. Where'd that come from? And now they started setting the stage. So yeah, it looks like it's 2 years out though. It looks like we will not be getting a Resident Evil game next year.
I thought, didn't we have news about a potential 8 in 2021? Yeah, that was supposed to follow more along. At least the rumors are saying supposed to follow more along the formula of 7 with like the first person.
Yes. When I read about Resident Evil 4 remake, they said it was 2 years out, and so they said we'd be skipping a year. But I think maybe they just forgot that 8 was announced like literally a week before.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're in store for another Resident Evil game next year, and then another one following. Which, if they start on Code Veronica, in 6 months, should have it out in 2023.
Now let me throw this opinion at you guys as the not Resident Evil fan. I think the games are fine. I don't have anything against them, but I've just not played many of them. The ones I've played I think are fine, but I played the Resident Evil 2 remake. I watched my brother play Resident Evil 2 when I was a kid because I was a kid. And I've played mostly through 4 when I went to my buddy's house who had it. And that's about it, right? Code Veronica to me sounds like a game I don't want to play because it's not a main titled, like not a number titled game.
It's supposed to be. It's
supposed to be, but it's because it's not the very casual stoked for Resident Evil 2 because I know how ballerific like Resident Evil 2 is.
Well, Resident Evil 2 is the best anyway.
Its reputation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Code Veronica, you two are the first people I've heard say more than the name of that game.
Sure.
Tonight.
Yeah. Code Veronica is the one, if there was a Resident Evil game that was in the main series line that I would never want to play again, it would be Code Veronica right now. 6. I would never play. I don't want to play 6.
I heard real bad things about 6.
Yeah, I would play. Yeah,
6 fucking sucks.
Yeah, I want them to remake 6 before they
6
do
is just like a legitimately
4.
bad game. Like 5 is not like a bad action game, but it's a bad Resident Evil game. And 6 legitimately just fucking sucks.
You know what's wrong with Resident Evil 5? I just realized it. You're like, and similar with 4, but like it felt different. All outside mainly. During the day, which Resident Evil 4 was as well for some of it, but there was night and then you were inside for most of it. But it was like almost all I can remember is being like outside in the sun. It was Africa, so it's like this just seems weird.
You're outside in the sun in Resident Evil 5. You have a person with you the entire time because it's co-op.
It's
you
broken
have
up
the
into
shop.
chapters.
The shop guy's following you around everywhere, so it's not that dangerous. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it is. It's like it's more like levels. You know what I mean? It's not like a.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just hate 5 so much. I hate 5 so much.
The thing that made me excited about 5 when it was first announced was the co-op. Because I don't know if you know this, Pooh, but Resident Evil 1, the original on PlayStation, was supposed to be co-op.
I believe that.
And like it was kind of cool. You were supposed to have Chris and Jill, and you were going to be able to explore the mansion together. But because the mansion was so small, having 2 players run down those hallways didn't really work out. So I thought, oh, this could be cool. But yeah, having the 2 people just didn't really go well.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it'd be awesome if they did if they ever remake Resident Evil 2 again. They do you can do simultaneous A and B campaigns.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
right? Wouldn't it?
Good. You got one person playing as Leon, the other is Claire, and you have to meet up at the right time to pass items through the fence. Otherwise, you can't pass through.
Like if you go too quick, everything's fucked and zombies overrun it, and you got to run away and
that would be a really cool experience. I would be into that. I'd be really into that.
That would be really cool.
Well, pardon my ignorance because I haven't played any of them, but are any of the Resident Evils co-op?
5.
I think
Five
is 6.
I think
so
6
the one that
had
sucks.
co-op.
Yeah, the one that sucks.
6 is the one that sucks. 5 is when it started to kind of suck. It's passable. Like I would replay 5. I would not replay 6. And 6,
I think the only go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say 6 tried to do so much because there was 3 different characters you could play as, and each of them had like a side character you played as. So you played as 6 characters throughout the game. I think like they all had their own stories, and it was kind of like, this is too much.
Yeah, that reminds me of Octopath, where it's like, this was a cool idea, but I got 8 tiny games and shitty stories instead of one good one.
Yeah, Octopath was fun for the first 2 or 3 campaigns of people.
And then it's like, they're all exactly the same.
Yeah. But go ahead, Tater.
I just think the only way that I would play Resident Evil games, because I don't like being spooked. I don't like spooky games. The only time I enjoy playing them is if someone else is suffering with me. Sure. So, like, if there's a co-op experience where there's someone on the other end of the Discord hearing me screech, I think I would enjoy it a little bit more than just sitting in a room by myself, getting scared.
Yeah, it's hard because I wouldn't say the Resident Evil games are scary. They're tense, if that makes sense. Like, you feel tension.
I jumped through the roof when I got the Discord call to come in here. So
it does have a couple. I would say it does have a couple jump scares.
Yeah,
For as much as Resident Evil is a single player game, I do enjoy playing it with a friend. That's their experience it as well. And like when I was younger, that was my brother, or a neighbor, or a friend, basically. And then like I played 3 online with my chat, and that was fun. But like, it's interesting to be like, yeah, I want to play this game with another person, even though like it's scary. But like, it's an interesting game to watch. That's what's nice about it. I think is somebody can sit there, watch you play, and still be entertained and spooked by it just as much as you are.
Yeah, because the tension's still there. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're playing or not. When like a dog jumps out of a vent and starts going off, dude, that's like the one thing I vividly remember from like the original Resident Evil 2 is being in some underground shaft or alleyway or something, and a dog showing up, and I think the prison, and then I was just like, it started barking, and my friend like had this big loud like, what the fuck, and I got scared too, and it was just this big fucking thing.
Yeah. My very first, I still remember my very first play of Resident Evil 1. I was at like a friend's neighbor's house. And
did you play the director's cut or the original first?
I bought the director's cut later, but this was like when the PlayStation was first out, so this was the original version.
Was that what cutscene did it open with the IRL cutscene, or was it the?
I only remember the gameplay part because they're like, you got to play the game sort of thing.
Okay. Those bastards.
Yeah, so they ruined that. But like just going through that first door, finding the first zombie and seeing him turn around and then running back to the door and him coming through again. I'm like, all right, that's enough. Show me Final Fantasy VII. like that's scary. That's a scary game because that was like the first scary game of that type.
Yeah.
So, but I learned to love it once I got, and we had the director's cut when I got it, which was fun. But it had the cutscene, but the hand was cut off, I think, in the director's cut, which is weird.
The director's cut had featured like they filmed all these like IRL cutscenes for it, and oh my god, they're so fucking funny, and they're so bad. I kind of want to try to see if I can find this.
There's so fun thing about that cutscene and stuff. There was a website dedicated to finding the actors in it, because they're not named in any credits sort of thing.
Oh, really?
And it was all filmed in Japan. It was like somebody found that there was an ad put out for like people that could understand Japanese that were American living in Japan sort of thing, needed for like 3 nights to go out in the woods to shoot, and like they were given
sketchy
very little
ad.
And
I just found it.
Very little
that
direction.
Sounds like my experience with Screamies.
Dude,
right.
I just found it. And it's like, oh, it's so greatly bad. It's like the best. Yeah,
and so like they so like obviously no one knew what they were filming this for, and so many people never even realize they were put in a video game. And they found most of the people. I think they're still missing like 2 of the characters, but like I think they recently found Barry, which is really cool. But it was kind of cool to hear that side of that. Like, yeah, that was Capcom Japan figuring it out and just doing whatever with it with very little direction and people running and doing terrible voice lines.
They even have a part right at the end where they have cast, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll get the credits for these people. But nope, it's literally just Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With their blood type, their weight and height.
Yeah.
Their blood type.
Yep.
I mean, the blood type makes a little sense with the game, but also not.
Yeah. It's a good
nod.
thing to include in a game of that nature, I guess.
Well, what would have been neat is if all of them had the same blood type, and that was what made them immune to the zombie bites. Because if you we're saying on this a lot, but most of the Stars members were immune for for gameplay reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
Like getting bit, like Jill could get bit and not get infected normally. At least original lore. They may have changed that, but the original lore was that Chris and Jill and Rebecca and Barry, they don't get infected because they're immune for some reason.
Yeah, you would think they would address that at least in like one of these remakes or in general.
I mean, that's the only way that, makes sense. Or also, like address the fact that you can just smoke weed in Raccoon City and it makes you completely heals all your wounds.
They alluded to that. They mentioned that in Resident Evil 3 Remake. Why? Like they gave some more information about the herbs.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
About their
What do they
medicinal
say?
properties and stuff?
Yeah.
What do they say?
Like this one guy's like, he worked at the electric company or something, and he's like, oh, this thing got inside me, and I feel so sick. But then I remember my grandmother told me about these herbs and how to mix them, and like, yeah, I took them and I instantly feel better, and I like the thing's out of me now, and like, just it's like they're like magic.
So
gotta rewrite it into the lore somehow. I like that.
Yeah, they didn't exactly explain why, just like that the game knows that it does heal.
Yeah. Well, Resident Evil's I still do want to try the 3 remake out, but I'm gonna wait until I find it for less than 60. But hey, maybe if you guys got a physical copy, send it my way. Once you're
I
done
got
with
it on PC, so we could family share it.
Oh, sick! All right, we'll do that.
Ooh. All right.
Take that, Big Daddy moneymakers.
Let's move on. The Switch got a dope update.
Yeah.
I gotta say it was one of the best updates they could have gotten, and you can now rebind all your controls. Something that honestly should just be like standard for every console at this point.
Yeah,
right?
it's
everything.
But what's shocking is that Nintendo Switch did it. Like that's like the last person I expected to be there. Because can you rebind your controls on the other consoles?
I think per game.
Every game.
In
games,
I guess in games you can.
Yeah, but
well, I mean,
sometimes.
Can you think of what's the last PlayStation game or Xbox game you played where you couldn't rebind your controls? Imagine all of them.
I don't think I've ever tried to rebind controls in like a PlayStation or Xbox game, just because usually their default is fine for me.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good with defaults. I tend not to.
Like the most I'll do is like aim sensitivity in certain shooters.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure like every game at this point on both those consoles just allow you to fucking rebind, at least as far as I know. But we're on the flip side of that, like I can't think like you can't rebind in Mario Maker. You can't rebind in exactly. So
but
I think this was a huge thing. Yeah, you can now. It's great.
Yeah,
great. No downside.
Yeah, it's great.
Can you rebind in the NES, like the classic?
It's system wide.
Store?
Yeah, it's system wide. So whatever you do applies to anything you're doing on your Switch.
Yeah, so you can say X is now A and A is now X, and then
That's
a game
fantastic.
will still say X, but it's your A button. So you have to know that, but it's really great. Yeah. They did a good job. It came out of nowhere. A lot of people thought it was just going to be a dumb update that they needed to do.
Were we on version, because this is version 10.0.0. Were we on version 9 before this? I thought we were on like 4 something.
No, we were 9. Oh no, there's and that's the thing. Like the last big major numbers, for the most part, have all been like nothing.
Yeah.
Compatibility and stability.
Here's some new Animal Crossing icons for your profile picture.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's good to actually have an update do something for once, Nintendo. Take note.
Yeah.
Continue doing these. But I feel like the reason for this update is because of some of the other stuff that was found in the firmware.
There was other stuff?
Yeah. So, obviously data mining is nothing new. Whenever a firmware comes out now, the very first thing a lot of people do instead of installing it is take a look at it, see what they can find in it. And in this case, they potentially found some information that leads to a Switch with a secondary display. So think of a Switch.
A DS?
Like a Wii U?
Dual Switch?
Yeah, a dual Switch or a Wii U even. It could be, a Switch with 2 screens, or it could be a Switch that then can send its signal to another Switch. So you could dock one and use the other one as a touchpad.
Support for the Wii U gamepad. Finally.
Yeah.
It's what we've needed. It's what we've been clamoring for. Nintendo fans around the globe have been asking.
It could be. But either way, so the new hardware found like probably the reason they needed to push this firmware was they're kind of getting in the point where they're manufacturing these things, and it might come with this firmware now. And they're like, I'll just update the firmware for everyone so we can find any bugs and have patches out for day one of the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Very curious of what they can do with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, while E3 isn't happening this June, we still can expect probably some announcements. I know there's no like digital conference being held, but I think most game companies are still going to hold some June announcements. So if there was ever a time for Nintendo to feel the waters out with this, now would be it. June's right around the corner.
Yep.
Oh, man. I really, really am excited to see what Nintendo's doing, because I feel like Nintendo right now, I can't think of a first-party Nintendo game that's even announced with a concrete date at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just very like, what are they going to release the rest of the year? Is this whole year just going to be like different Mario titles? Which, like, I'm not going to complain about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll take every Mario remake they want to toss me.
Yeah. I will not be super mad about that. But, like, I also won't be super excited if it's just all Mario titles, I wouldn't mind something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we see something cool.
Well, yeah, and that's the talking about the Mario stuff. The rumors of all those new Mario releases.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this remapping controls is an easy way for people to kind of map those controls in those games without them adding support in for the games. So I would actually lead that this lends truth to that rumor.
I would agree with that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Looks like a bright Nintendo future that we're looking at coming up then, because Mario remakes and a Nintendo Switch DS. Like, the Nintendo DS was by far one of the hottest bangers of console of all time. The Nintendo DS was just so hot. I loved my DS so much.
Yeah, and the 3DS, they were both fucking awesome. Yeah.
Having 2 screens enhances gameplay so much more than you would ever expect it to. Like, even when you're not using it for anything super interesting, having the second screen in the Zelda remakes simply to add a couple of buttons to equip masks without pausing was like, oh my God. Being able to whip out your ocarina without binding it to Y, X, or Z or C or whatever. So good.
Yeah.
And then games that... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say having a map.
The map.
The map.
Yeah.
Cleaning the UI, putting all the UI on the touchscreen instead of on the top screen.
Yeah. It makes the most sense for handhelds because, like, that screen is already small. Like, so having a small mini map in the bottom right corner just wouldn't work. It would look so bad.
Yeah.
So having it dedicated to a bigger screen below, so good.
Yeah. And the games that did the connection between the top and bottom screen for one really long, weird picture. There was even a couple games that made you hold your DS sideways, and it was like, check it out.
Yeah. There was, and then they had like games where you had to close your DS, like one of the Zelda ones, you had to stamp something, and stamping it was closing your DS.
Dude, it took me so long to solve that. I solved it on accident because I was like, fuck this game.
I guarantee you that's why they allowed that to go in. They're like, well, at worst case, people are just going to get like frustrated, close their DS and come back to it. And it's going to have solved it. And they're like, yeah, that's a good point. Leave it in. And then they'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Shit, what game was it that did that?
It was Spirit Tracks or the other one.
I think it might have been Spirit Tracks, yeah. Because I played halfway through it.
It was one of those two, yeah.
Yeah.
They both had their own like puzzle because you had to blow out the candles or
the blow. I was gonna say the blowing too.
Yep.
Blowing can stay. That can stay dead. That's fine.
No, but it's
you don't want to blow on your console, dude.
Yeah. I do enough blowing in my spare time. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
his other stream.
More concerning since we're in isolation.
Yeah. Okay, sidetrack. This is a complete side note, but I was talking about that on stream about how this is like, well, no, it's like the death of casual sex happened.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird in that respect. Like, if you were having casual sex, a month and a half ago, like your options were like boo up with someone for this whole time, and you gotta make a choice right now, and they might suck.
Yeah.
Or do nothing. Buy 800 dildos, or man dildos.
Seems like a lot of dildos, but point made. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. Sorry, that was just a complete side note.
No,
thoughts, gentlemen.
You're
thoughts?
not wrong.
Your thoughts?
Absolutely not wrong. No, it is a bummer, dude. I was like kind of starting to see someone right before Corona started happening. And so we went on 2 dates, and then like the stay at home and NBA closed, quarantine all started, and I'm like, well, this has been great, but you're an essential service worker, and I gotta have some people that I can't infect, so I'm really sorry.
Oh wow. I mean, you couldn't just like talk on. You couldn't Skype her. She wasn't Skype worthy.
We're still talking, but like, it's not the same, No,
it's not.
It's not the same.
It's definitely not.
Especially when it's so new. It's like you want to get to know the person a little bit, hang out, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like fucking nothing. Yeah. What do you mean it's quarantine?
I know. Well, I think that's another problem. Is like I call my parents every day, right? We don't have anything to fucking talk about right now because none of us have anything going on at all. Like there's nothing to talk about with them, Like there's only one topic of conversation that I can have with my parents right now because they're literally not doing anything. You know what I mean? At least I'm working and have something like a little bit going on. Like they're chilling.
Yeah, chilling.
As they should be, as they absolutely should be. So it's hard to like make that small talk that you need in like a dating situation constantly, you know, for a month, 5 weeks.
It's like, what did you do this week? It's like, I rewatched fucking Breaking Bad. I don't know.
Yeah. I watched Parks and Rec for the 80th time.
But even not like relationship wise, like I have friends that are not texters. They don't really hang by their phone at all. And they're people who I would see, at the local bar or, we would make time to like go get lunch once a week. Or I have a friend that I do Zumba with every single week, and I haven't talked to her in weeks because like she's just not a texter. So like it's definitely hard on friendships as well as relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. It's been really hard for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Definitely thought it wasn't going to be as hard as it was as a streamer, and then like last week I was like, oh no, this sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, not harder, but what's weird is like, I don't know, at least with like the chillin', like if you're off work or even working from home a little bit, like you're kind of what do I want to say, like kind of like playing hooky, and you kind of do whatever. As a streamer, like you don't get any of that. Like now we just can't leave our house ever.
It's
ever.
like we lost
and now
our
we're
one
also
outlet.
Exactly. And now it's so there are some other difficulties, and you have to be like you got to be on every day. You know what I mean? You can't be sad as a streamer. Everyone knows that. Like, you got to be on every day. And like some days, like right now, you know, it's hard. You wake up and you're just like feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
So it is wild. But I am fascinated about like dating in not just this current, like not just like right now, but also like, you know, and when this is all over.
Yeah,
you know
for like the
I mean?
next
In
year.
6 months, the next year, 2 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're just, it's going to be kind of wild. The whole thing, like everything else is just going to be interesting, you know?
Yeah, we got to notice that we were starting, I'm in Ohio, and we got to notice that we were going to start opening up on May 1st. And I mean, I know that I'm not going to go, you know, run to Bumble. Like, I don't know where you've been. I don't know what you've been doing. And I don't know when you'll feel comfortable enough to like go meet strangers again. Like, I know for the casinos, they're requiring them to, during this time, move casinos to be 6 feet apart from each other, which is going to be weird
How do
in
you do
itself.
that? Yeah, they're making new
Two slot
tables
machines
to,
for-
like,
Space super, like just put half the slot machines in storage.
Yeah, and then like blackjack tables, there's 2 seats between every person, so only 3 people to a table.
Which is completely changes the game. So
Lysol the count, like Lysol, your counter gets Lysoled by the dealer as you leave the table.
Yeah. Roulette better have like 6 times less spaces to land.
Yeah, the ball needs to social distance too.
Yeah.
And like with games like craps, half of the fun is the people around the table. Like
the 9 billion people. Yeah, the 9 billion people right there. You know, like especially like you hear like a couple people clap, and then you like, I'm gonna go join that table, and then you know, like that's how craps games work. You know, like all of a sudden one guy's on a heater and there's 2 of you there, and then it just starts going and going and going, and more people show up until that guy loses. It's great.
Yeah.
I love craps. Yeah. So it is. It is. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how things open up, because like if you look at the news and numbers, like we're flattening and plateauing, but like, fuck, dude, it's rough.
Yeah.
Still, and it's like it's horrible. Like, you know what I mean? We're talking thousands of people every day, and people are acting like that's like good and okay, and we're just gonna, you know, and we're just gonna like, all right, let's go back to it. Like, fuck no, man. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. The whole thing is gonna be interesting. It is gonna be wild.
Yeah, I don't envision, like, I'm super not envisioning anything going back to normal for like, I don't think it's gonna happen for a real long time. I think once we get like fast testing, I know Ontario, I don't know, I haven't kept up with anything else, but I know Ontario has a bunch of like testing kits that they ordered, I think, that give you results in 20 minutes, which is like, yo, sick. If those are everywhere, dope. We're like, that can be the point where like things are kind of going back to normalish, because you get tested once a week and you're like, sick, I don't have to self-quarantine this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. We just don't know. We don't know how this is going to go. Like, as far as like, I don't know, like, you know, can you get sick every year? Can you get sick every 6 months? Can you get sick every 5? Like, I don't think we just have none of these fucking, we just don't know. There's just so many unknowns. So it's like, I don't know. It is going to be wild though. I can't, it's hard for me to imagine that I'm going to want to just like, just get back out there and like go to basketball games this year. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that, especially like a gathering of thousands of people. Like, I'm not going to a concert in 2020 Not any single concert.
Could you imagine going to
person? It only takes
festival?
one person.
A fucking festival?
Yeah.
In 2020?
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it only takes one person to mess it up for everyone, and it's really not worth the risk, because, you know, there's that idiot out there that's like, I'm fine, I have it, but what are the chances?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot.
Sorry, I derailed it there because I wanted to talk about.
No, it's fine. Hey, I
wanted to talk about casual.
You can derail it.
Casual sex and coronavirus days. You know what I mean? Something that I haven't had in many, many years myself. But I'm fascinated by the dating.
No, I have regular sex. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's been awesome. Been getting it consistent for a decade now. You know what I mean? Top notch, weird stuff.
Gina just has a disapproving no from the other room.
I know. She just shook her head. Hopefully she didn't hear that one. You know? No, but yeah, it's a fascinating thing. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious about how, like, I don't know, like it is how it's going to evolve after that. You know, people have been like going on dates in Animal Crossing.
I've done that a couple times.
I saw that.
Wait, you've gone on an Animal Crossing date?
Yeah, with that girl. She plays Animal Crossing. We've done it like
right
a couple
now?
times. Yeah.
Y'all have done Animal Crossing dates?
Yeah, dude, and it doesn't fucking cut it.
Oh my god, that's
around
adorable.
In the same bed.
Do you kiss?
Listen, Jaku. Listen, Pooh. I'm a man who kisses and doesn't tell, and rolls around in bed and doesn't.
You
tell.
You don't do fake Animal Crossing kisses. Like you don't get in an Animal Crossing bed and make weird noises. You know, like.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, our Animal Crossing characters, we have them stand next to each other, and they start like their hands wobble close enough that we can be like, "Oh my god, we're holding hands."
I got one for this Xwater.
Oh,
I put on my wizard hat and robe.
Oh my god!
I got something as well for this.
Oh, this is so funny.
But to talk about that one more second with Xwater, when this is all over, and you guys are still talking, you know that day is going to be like probably magic.
That'll be a nice day. Yeah, that'll definitely be a nice day. Was that costume called Cliffy?
It was.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell your stream. Sorry guys, I'm out for the next 3 days.
I got to do some intense recovery.
Yeah. Speaking of some intense recovery, let's talk about this Cooking Mama, Cookstar stuff going on.
Can we? Good. Thank you. Because I wanted to talk about this last week, but we still were in the dark. So
yeah, we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So I'd like to give a fill-in of the story till now for the viewers and listeners at home. So basically, Cooking Mama Cookstar. It's a next game in the Cooking Mama franchise, and it's been in development for some time by a company called Planet Entertainment, who is not the original developer of the series. So the original developer, their name I think is Office Crate. They changed their name away from Office Crate, changed it back, a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, the Cooking Mama game was being worked on by Planet, subcontracted through Office Crate, right? And so Planet Entertainment kept, they trucked along, making the game, and eventually they put it out on the eShop. A few physical copies are out in the wild, and within hours of being on the eShop, it's pulled like that. Nothing said. No, like transaction history of the game is removed. If you bought it, it's still on your Switch, but there's no record of you ever purchasing it. Like it is vanished. And at first, people thought it was because the game was rumored to have a Bitcoin miner in it, some sort of cryptocurrency miner. Yeah, and that was quickly dispelled. Apparently, from what I read, not from any credible source, so I don't know how much I can actually attest to this, but the blockchain technology that was in the code was put in there for the purpose of transaction history keeping and essentially providing a way for people to resell their copies of this online game. So, like, I could sell my copy of Cooking Mama to Jaku without going back through the eShop because the blockchain technology inside the game would be able to make record of these transactions because that's how it works, essentially. So that's the reason for its apparent inclusion in there. But that's not the reason that the game was pulled from shops and from the world. So just April 15th, which is yesterday as of this recording, we got a memo from Office Crate, which was basically went into detail saying that Cooking Mama Cookstar was released by Planet Entertainment despite Office Crate telling them that the game did not meet the standards that they expected, that they made orders for things that they had to essentially rebuild. Essentially what happened is like Office Crate commissioned them to make this game and then asked for revisions, and they're like, nah, we're releasing it anyway. Didn't do the revisions. It got pulled immediately, and now there's going to be some big legal dispute between Office Crate and Planet Entertainment, who have now gotten into this weird, commissioner kind of situation.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's also a PS4 version apparently that Planet was saying they were going to release in Europe. And they have not been licensed or asked to create a PS4 version of this game.
Yeah.
So they took this property and really wanted to do whatever the hell they wanted with it. It sounds like. Shout outs to anyone that has a physical copy, especially if it's unopened, because that is going to be worth some money in a few years.
Yeah, that's going to be an expensive piece of history.
Yep. Yeah, that's super crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was apparently March 30th that Office Crate terminated all contract and revoked the license from Planet because of the way they breached their contract and everything. But Planet continued at least for a while to promote that we're the creators of this game. Like they're using the logo and the property in ways they just absolutely cannot right now. So it is basically a gigantic high school drama mess, but a video game developer version.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where you don't act first and ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
This was a bad idea.
Yeah, I feel like, especially with the experience at this point, Warp World has worked with, or has at least been in contact with several developers. I mean, we have crowd control support on Toe Jam and Earl. We've worked with a couple of other developers. I'm just going to not include any others because I'm sure I'm going to slip on what I'm allowed and not allowed to say.
I was going to say.
Yep, yeah.
But Toe Jam and Earl were fine.
Whoa, calm down there.
Toe Jam and Earl were fine. So having been in these situations ourselves, and Jaku, I think you can maybe give a little more insight. How fucking incompetent does a company have to be, or shady, to essentially take another company's licensed property and run away with it like that?
Yeah, that's insanely shady. And at the end of the day, this company will never be able to do anything again because they got physical copies, they had eShop copies, so they had the right contacts to make all this stuff happen.
Yeah,
and they lied to these people to get it up there. Those Nintendo and any manufacturer that they worked with to get this, which also goes to Nintendo, they are not going to ever be like, yeah, you guys can continue to make games in the future now. They not only screwed themselves out of this contract and it's a huge mess here, but they're never going to be able to publish a game with Nintendo again. Nintendo is going to be very strict on them for that. And yeah, I don't know. It's just something you should not do ever.
Some of the backsplash is probably going to go towards Office Crate too, whether they are in the right or wrong in this scenario. Nintendo doesn't seem like a forgiving platform to be on.
If this game ever does get released and or remade or whatever, Nintendo's going to be strict about it and be like, is this really you now?
There's going to be a lot of hoops for any future Cooking Mama endeavors.
Yeah, who would have thought Cooking Mama would have this much drama?
Yeah.
Cooking Drama Mama.
Yo, drama, baby drama mama.
Cooking Mama drama,
Cooking Mama drama. Yeah.
I mean, just saying, this kind of mistrust is what happens when you go against somebody that you have a contract and a, dare I say, alliance with.
I saw where that's going.
I walked right into that one.
Yeah, you sure did.
If only this news came out last week, it would have set up the severity of alliances and contracts.
Well, speaking of news, let's go to this week's hot take.
Hot take.
Tater,
All right.
Can you say hot take, please?
Hot take.
All right.
Not our best, but okay, we'll go.
I whispered it first, but you didn't hear me.
Oh, okay.
The mic probably got it.
Yeah. Never mind. My bad.
So Turnip Exchange has been a hot site.
Hot.
As of this recording, 1.5 million unique users.
Whoa, that's hot.
Or visitors, I guess.
That's
I don't
hot.
know. It's insane. We've never had that many people seeing our stuff, which is great. But with that comes, copycats and
Great responsibility.
Responsibility. Yep, absolutely responsibility. It comes, like I said, copycats. It comes smear campaigns. It comes fake news. Fake news is everywhere. So I will discuss the copycats first, but this week's hot take is, surrounded around journalism. And, when you're doing a story, should you, reach out to, all parties involved before writing a piece?
I want to jump off my gun here and just, I have an inkling that I might say yes, you should.
Yeah. Pooh?
Is that too crazy?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tater?
Yeah, so I was a journalism minor in college. So yes, one, you should if you want to do unbiased and actual reporting. I happen to know what you're talking about, so I'm going to say that there is some bias and improper journalism in this situation.
I'm glad we have you on. This is perfect. This is right up your alley. Yes, I think we're all in agreement that when you're writing a story and you're comparing two similar services, you should probably get some input from both sides, not just one. But one journalist did not think that was the case. Was not necessary. He was too busy, actually. What were his words, I believe.
Was it? Oh.
What? Too busy? Is that what that is what he responded to?
Let me pull up the Twitter DM, so I can do my job and not miscredit him with something.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Hey, okay. Well, hey, Jaku, thanks for reaching out. Apologize for not getting back to you sooner. I was a bit swamped today. Just kidding, getting caught up with everything. Okay, so he's swamped with not getting back to me. But yes, it was a clear mistake on my part not to try to reach out to you about the bot claims. So what this is references to is a news article came out about our website, Turnip Exchange, and a similar site that also links people up with a queue system for turnips. We're not claiming that we are, the only site that can do this. And any number of people can create this site. This is a novel idea. Like that is not the problem. The problem is that the website that they put in their article had around less than 20,000 users and used a CAPTCHA system. If you're not familiar with what a CAPTCHA is, you probably are a robot. But it's you enter a code, 5-digit code, or you have to click on the fire hydrants or the walkway to confirm you're a human.
Oh, I hate that.
And yeah, you hate that, right? It's such a stupid thing to do, but is it a necessary thing to do to prevent bots? I ask you this.
Is it? You have the answer.
I do have the answer. I'll get to the answer. So glad you asked. So this whole article talked about this other website and how their CAPTCHA solved the problem of Turnip Exchange and why it's a better site because of this one thing. Without obviously fact checking, at the time of the article, we had over 1.3 million unique users using the site. Their app had 20,000 users or less. So right there, quite a big difference in users. And the whole thing is our queues were filling up very fast because, again, 1.3 million users. So they're like, oh, yeah, the CAPTCHA's blocking the bots. However, at the bottom of every single page on Turnip Exchange, we mentioned Casada. Casada is a company that deals with bots. They know bots better than almost anyone on the planet, I would say. And this is coming from a security person. They have a technology called Polyform, which allows a user to go to a website, be identified as a human without these silly CAPTCHAs in like 99.9% of the time with very good accuracy. Our site's been protected by that pretty much since launch to prevent any sort of botting. The technology in general on our site protects against bots just because it's not a normal scrapable website. There's a lot of dynamic content and JavaScript and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's not impossible, but it makes it difficult. But our stuff with Casada is pretty good. So when they published this article mentioning why their other site was better than Turnip Exchange, it really led me to wonder what's going on with this publication. The fact that they didn't reach out, it did seem very shady. And so, I blasted the website on my Twitter, and it got a DM from the guy. I actually gave him 2 hours. I DM'd him originally like, hey, would have loved to have talked to you about this. And he took, and I understand like 2 hours is not a lot of time, but he did start typing in the Twitter message box, and I saw the ... and then he stopped.
He dotted you?
Yeah, he dotted me.
Dotted you? Oh.
Since then, they have added 2 lines to their website now, talking about it, mentioning that we have something called Casada Polyform, blah, 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 blah. But the article still mentions why their site, this other site's better than Turnip Exchange. And it completely defeats the whole purpose of the article. So there's no mention on the article that there was an edit done. There's the title still like is very like, it's like, I can see how it was lost, but I see how that was lost in the headlines, basically, is his comment. It's very interesting that this person can call themselves a journalist. And
well, I mean, that's part of the day. Technically, we're journalists right now. Like, you know what I mean? That is part of
it's true.
The world. It's the good and the bad of the world. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's the good and the bad of the internet. Like, that's the one thing about the internet is everyone can say whatever they want, and it more matters if people listen to you, whether you're accurate or not. Does that make sense? Like,
no, absolutely.
That's what's fucked up. Yeah.
When you're on top, though, there will be, articles that are incorrect about you and, other things for sure. I had to reach out to, get it corrected when I saw it. And I tried to, be the good guy on the conversation and reach out to him in private before taking any sort of action and mentioning it. But it's just interesting that, turnips are this big subject right now in the world where people are writing like fake news articles. It's really silly.
I'm reading the article now, and the thing that gets me, so I saw someone comment on your Twitter thread that was like, do you think that this was an ad or a sponsorship by this, I would put competitor in air quotes. And it's like, just the wording is so, like, they use the word fed up, they use the word, all of this wording is so harsh.
Right.
And to make it's almost like posting something, it's like saying, oh, you like, that's not nice, they're not here to defend themselves. You say that when you're like talking about someone who's not in the room. And like, that's what gets me the most about this article. It's like, I know that we have some really great people on our PR team, and you guys are all very competent yourself, that would have gladly contributed to this article and made it much more just better in general. And it frustrated the crap out of me when I read it.
Go ahead.
It just kind of, I don't know, you give stupid people a website and you get stupid results. I guess that's what it comes down to. Inverse, are you hiring? Because I would gladly take a job and do it better.
So what's funny about, you saying like, we have a good team, if they reached out, we would have probably replied. Of all the reporters, and I've had a few now reach out to our press email and my contact email personally, I've replied within about 5 minutes of their emails coming in. And each of them has been like, I didn't think you would reply so fast. Hold on. Because I know how it is with press and getting things out to people. I've dealt with press for the last 10 plus years. Everybody's looking for a scoop. Everyone's trying to act as fast as possible. So I'm not going to sit on an email for 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to reply as soon as I can.
Yo, not to interrupt you, but if any streamers are out there listening to this, that is a huge thing. Reply to the journalists right away. It helps. And it also, I mean, like, straight up, like, because I'm so responding, I respond to them all the time. That's why I've been so lucky to have so much shit in Kotaku, because they're like, oh, we need a speedrun quote. Let's get GrandPooBear. He'll reply. You know what I mean?
Like, they know.
Quote. Exactly. Yeah.
And also the last thing that you ever want is because I mean, even an hour later, they can post their article and say, we reached out to this person and they didn't comment,
they didn't
or
respond.
they had no comment.
Yeah.
And it's like, that right there seems so shady, but it's like, I just didn't check my email for an hour. So yeah, it's just a dog eat dog world in this industry.
And to go with your point where it's like an ad, or it's like a friend of his created the app, it's really a non-story when you take out the mention of us. It's like, his girlfriend was playing the game, and he decided to do something about it, is his story. And it's like, okay, I mean, a lot of people have their girlfriends playing this game and decided to do something about it. It just seemed like, where did you find this guy, sort of thing, if you're not friends with him.
Yeah, it was that was ridiculous. And the funniest part about this too is, like, what do I want to say? Like, there's no money in having anyone on your website trading turnips.
Right.
There's literally no money in it, which has probably been the funniest part about all of this. Is it's honestly increased all our costs. And there is literally no money in this. It is just awesome. It's just an awesome thing to make. So, like,
yeah, we've just had fun making it. The costs for our Amazon servers have gone up at least 5 times. And the month's not even over. So, like, I'm kind of worried looking at the bill. But, like, it's insane that it's gone up 5 times. Our monthly cost. So we're doing a lot to kind of help reduce those costs now that but more users are still increasing. So every time we find ways to save costs, more users come and just eat those costs again. But it's a fun thing. We like doing cool shit. That's been our motto forever. So that's one of those things. Obviously, if you want to help us out, we do have a Patreon, patreon.warp.world. It really does help. But otherwise, just don't write stupid articles.
Don't write stupid articles.
Speaking of stupid articles.
I was just going to say, it is a testament to you guys when you guys are used as the clickbait for the title. Like, it goes off of what you said. Like, they wouldn't have an article without it. They threw your name in there because they knew that it would get the clicks, because 1.3 million people, plus their significant others who know about Animal Crossing, know about Turnip Exchange.
Yeah. Yep. So if they see
so
something,
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It has been nice. And knowing that we're helping so many people in this current time of need, even if it is through virtual turnip trading, it's really nice feeling to be part of that, and knowing that you're having an impact on people's lives, making it hopefully better in a very stressful time.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some side questions.
Boy, my favorite part.
It's the end.
The side questions.
Oh, okay. All right. This first question comes from Rigsby. Hey, GrandPooBear. I think that's a new one. What are your good and bad streaming/gaming habits? How have they changed the longer you've been streaming in the gaming scene? Thanks. So, great question.
Good habit and a bad habit.
I can kind of talk about this.
Okay.
Let's go. What do you got?
So I never would talk while I played video games. Like, when playing with friends, like, maybe a joke here or there, but like constant talking was never a thing we did. It was always kind of like play the game, do the stuff, and make a joke or two once in a while. So, like, when you're Twitch streaming, like, you have to talk. And so now when I play games with friends, I talk a lot more. And I kind of don't like that. I kind of like the, like, not talking as much aspect of gameplay. But that's definitely kind of like one of the things that becoming a streamer has now been a bad habit for me, I think. But it's a good habit to do while streaming, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Man, I mean, I used to be really good about practice, and now I'm really bad about practice. Which is kind of funny. That used to be one of my best habits, and now I've been really bad about it. Mostly just because with a kid, I like being around him more. So you can't really have a CRT TV and a bunch of cords with a child. So that's hurt. Man, I'm trying to think of like some of the other things that I don't know. Like, there's a bad. Oh, actually, I got one. I am a sloucher. I'm a sloucher. My go-to gaming position is slouch.
Yes. Well, yeah. When you're streaming, like, your head's like barely on the stream.
Yeah, we have to tell you at the start of podcast calls sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to move that camera down? You're like, oh, I'll just stop slouching.
Yeah. But no, like, I'm the same way right now too, and like I need to get a standing desk or something, because not going anywhere has definitely been doing something to my back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My back.
I've been doing like rigorous stretches every day with the lack of outsidedness. I've been doing a lot more body moving inside.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah.
I saw your 25-pound push-ups, assisted push-ups today. That was really cute.
Well, the best part is that literally anytime I go down to like do crunches or sit-ups or push-ups or anything, like my son now, he just like hops right on me and thinks it's hilarious. And then when sometimes he falls off and he just laughs his ass off, and it's the best, but it's also like, it doesn't help. I mean, it does help, but he ain't making it any easier on me,
Yeah.
But it's great. Yeah.
Sorry, he's helping the gains.
He's helping the gains. You know what I mean? It's I'm happy he's such a contributor.
Yeah.
I got a good one of my bad gaming habits that I have in any competitive game is tilt. Letting your tilt get to you. The mentality. Mm-hmm. And especially the biggest one I can think of it as an example, like it's present in like speedrunning and when I played like Dota and shooters and stuff. But the biggest game that tilt affects me in is fighting games, Smash Bros, Street Fighter, stuff like that, where like the second you start thinking of like, you stop thinking like, where is the opening? What is my move? Where instead you're thinking like, how do I get back at this guy for hitting me? That's when you've lost. As soon as you start thinking like, not about the game and more about the fact that you're upset that you're losing, because you'll never get them if you're not like sitting there thinking like, okay, he just did a forward smash and I'm in the air. I can get a forward air off him on him right now. Stuff like that. Mm. So that's definitely one of the bad habits in terms of gaming for me. Yeah.
I think that. Are you good? Are you done?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. A small one is touching my face. My mom actually would text me. She would watch my stream. She would text me. She'd be like, "Stop touching your face." And when I first started streaming, it was such like a nervous habit that like my face was so broken out. So I've kind of gotten better at that. Not really. I've rewatched the first Animal Crossing VOD and I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm still doing it. But kind of on a more broad term is I have never had a problem talking. I think I'm the opposite of you, Jaku. And I do have a tendency to ramble on and sometimes like say too much. And I will like reveal information that probably shouldn't be revealed. So that's one thing that I've really fixed and I'm grateful for, because, the more people that come to your stream, the more you're revealing information about yourself that like, you don't know what they're going to do with that. So big habit change for me is just not oversharing.
Yeah, that's one that's I think important as a streamer to learn too, like where it's like, ooh, I said too much. Let's try and change that topic.
I undershare. All right. Next question.
Security
Jaku does undershare. Dude, Jaku is such an undershare. We did this podcast for a year already.
Let's not share.
No, I'm sorry. I'm telling this story.
No, mute him.
Yep. Dude, no, too late.
Mute him.
We shared. At the time, he had a girlfriend. And
sorry, Pooh, I've muted you. The man has requested his undersharing. I
don't care. It's getting edited in. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I didn't even know. I roll up to his house and realized he's got a live-in girlfriend. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is like, we've been talking for a year. We're like friends. We own a business. Like, yeah, I mean, it was just wild to see. So now I just don't even, like, nothing can surprise me with Jaku now.
All right. Next question comes from our sound guy, Proximity Sound. They ask, what lessons in site and service operations have you learned since the launch of Turnip Exchange? Can those lessons be applied to your other services? Is there anything you wish you did before the launch in hindsight? And any advice to those about to launch a large service? This is a great question. We've built services in the past, obviously, but we've mainly been, tied to Twitch, and with that, smaller numbers. So this was definitely the larger project, but we had no idea how much larger. Like this was like a, hey, me and Ross are gonna do this. It will probably take a few days, sort of thing. yeah, okay, cool, we did it, and then it blew up. We thought it would probably stay in the Twitch ecosystem. We didn't really think the general world would start using it. So I guess
that was originally like the thing too, was like for streamers. We thought streamers would use this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When
we got
Jaku
multi-queue.
told me about it.
Yeah. We're like, multi-queue works, but this will kind of be a better version of multi-queue for it. And like other people can use it, but like whatever, it's gonna be streamers. So I guess over anticipate. Always think like you're gonna have more users than you do, at least in planning. So you can plan for that just in case it happens. Don't have unrealistic expectations, but at least, you know, double or triple your expectations, so that you can be like, okay, we're gonna have 10,000 users. No, we're gonna have 30,000. At least you're not completely caught with your pants down then. Adapt fast. You know, be available to change things and watch the site closely. I think that's really what helped us when we saw so many users joining. You know, we were able to change resources and change things to hopefully provide a better experience for as many users as we can. We didn't get to keep up with it as much as I had hoped, but we got there in the end, and we're still seeing growth more each day. Well, it's interesting, the trend. Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday, like one of our busiest days, and then Monday's even busier, Tuesday's super busy, and Wednesday's the peak, and then it starts to go back down. And we've seen that trend 2 weeks in a row, and it's continuing today. So it's going down today, and it's going to go back up Sunday, most likely. But it always does far better than the previous week, like a lot more users. So be prepared about that. Know what days are best days for maintenance and stuff as well. What lessons can be applied to our other services? Queuing for a lot more users. Last I checked, over 2.5 million people have, not 2.5 million people, 2.5 million queued users, I guess. So it could be one user queued 5 times sort of thing. But having 2.5 million people in queues is a lot different from having, you know, 60,000 or so. That makes sense. But
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What? Are you serious about that?
But the core concept's the same. Just anticipating that and making sure your database supports integers that are higher than you expect, which we anticipated. So we're good on that. And any other advice? Yeah, just have fun with it. Make sure that you have the passion for it. Don't, if you're looking to have fun with it, remember it's a fun project. You remember the reason why you built it in the first place and what good it does. If it starts to get frustrating and you start to feel overwhelmed, give it off to somebody else or just make the hard decision to cut it. If it stops being fun for you, get rid of it. But so far it's been great for us. So I'm not looking to get rid of it.
Mm-mm.
Some wise words from the Presidente himself.
But yeah,
all right,
that's Turnip.
There we go.
All right, thanks for the question, Prox.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with that said, that'll do it for us.
Yep.
Another long episode 143, still inside Animal Crossing.
Still in the books.
Still inside Animal Crossing, episode in the books. Thank you guys again. Check out the Patreon if you haven't already. Check out the blog is about to start dropping there on the Patreon since we hit 1,000. Oh, yeah. It already dropped.
We already dropped our first blog article talking about bots on Turnip Exchange. So we had some source material to point people towards.
Hey, nice.
But yeah, I know Xwater, you're working on some nice little blog posts.
Yeah, I got a piece written. I'm working on a second. I know Navis got a piece written.
And I'll have something.
We don't have it tonight, but starting tomorrow, you will be able to vote for the next Patreon game choice of the month.
Oh, and if you're listening on Monday, it's active now.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you know what the things? Can you give us a preview of what they're going to be?
We're deciding them tonight, so I cannot.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
The mystery continues. That's just Jaku undersharing. He hasn't picked. He just doesn't want to share it.
Yep.
And then also make sure if you want to get a side question into the podcast, you email us at podcast@warp.world, and we'll do our best to get your question included in this lovely show.
Yes. Also, TaterHolic, where can we find you?
You can find
Not
me
on an island.
You cannot find me. You can find me on my own island. Not the Survivor Island, not Feeney's Island. At twitch.tv/TaterHolic. I'm also on Twitter. It's all TaterHolic. Just Google TaterHolic. I'm there.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you
Go
guys
follow
for
her.
thank you guys for letting me continue to hang out after my bombardment of your podcast.
Yeah, thanks for bamboozling Pooh with us. That was really fun.
I'm so happy it worked. You know, I was hiding. So originally, Pooh, I want to let you know, I was hiding behind resident services when you came into the island.
Oh,
Do you see how great of a hiding spot that is?
That's so. I can't believe you guys set me up like this. This is pretty funny. You know what I mean?
We knew that we were like, man, if we had face cam right now, it'd be so good. But we knew that it might you might be a little aggravated at the very start, but you'd come around to it for good content.
No, that was great. That was hot content. I mean, I straight up got, you know, Maury'd right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is my Jerry Springer moment, you know? So
I also I was listening on Twitch before I came in, and you were just telling this sweet sentimental story that was so cute and nice about everything your wife did for you for your birthday. And I messaged Jaku, and I'm like, I feel so bad. I'm like standing in the living room. I'm about to uproot this man's entire day.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, that was hilarious. That was great. It was great. I thought it was hilarious myself. So
I had a good time. Thank you guys.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.
Have a great week.
Bye.